Put your gloves on, touch them up. Let's get into it. Islam Makhachev has defeated Anderson Silva's 16-fight win streak, but I got some things to say about that fight. Not impressed at all. Ian Gary looked a lot better than I thought, and I think a lot of people need to put a little more respect on his name. Obviously, it's Ian Gary. Nobody likes the guy, but he had a good fight. But I don't think Islam is going to do as well as we think in the welterweight division. But let's start at the bottom, because this was kind of a crazy card, especially starting out. Jeremiah Wells submits, yes, you heard me, submits Miktabek Orolbai. Insane. Orolbai is a fantastic grappling prospect, and he was supposed to have a major advantage. Jeremiah Wells came out in the first round, and he's swinging like crazy. Orolbai had terrible head movement blocking in the beginning. Jeremiah Wells got a couple good shots off on him in the beginning. And I was a little worried for Miktabek in the first round, but he gets him to the ground halfway through, does his thing, then gets to the second round. It was all Orolbai in the second. And then in the third round, this is where, holy cow, Jeremiah Wells hurts Orolbai with a big right hand. Orolbai tries to shoot for a takedown. Jeremiah Wells hooks around the neck, standing up, by the way. Just wrapped him up and locked in the guillotine. That is some veteran IQ if I've ever seen it before. Wells did not just land a good punch. He recognized exactly what his opponent was going to do after he got hurt. Very, very good win from Jeremiah Wells. Dude, these veterans, man, you got to start putting respect on the name. Orolbai, I think the stock dropped a little bit. This was insane. Minus 1,300 going in, dude. The biggest favorite on the card. This is the biggest upset we've seen since Ilia Topuria lost to Justin Gaethje. What a insane way to start off the UFC 330 card. We also got UFC 333 announced, as well as some other smaller fights, Sean Brady, Gabriel Bonfim. But how are you going to announce? You got 331 announced. You got 333 announced. What are we waiting on for 332? Because I swear, man, if it's not Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane, I'm going to be busting some heads, okay? Because I'm sick of waiting for that. So, like, how can you go from doing UFC 331 to 333 and just forget about 332? They better have some bangers going on for that, because who does that, man? So 0 for 1 starting off, but then Neil Magny clutches up like I knew he would, bro. It's that veteran experience, bro. Neil Magny gets it done against Ramiz Brahimaj, dude. I don't think Ramiz Brahimaj is good. That's what I said in my video. He gets the TKO. Brahimaj had a very strong start. He was able to pressure Magny and use his grappling to make things difficult. But Neil Magny, being smart, he survived that early storm. And this is where it comes into play. The experience becomes that difference maker. Neil Magny in the second round started turning the pace, and once Brahimaj started slowing down, you could really tell that Ramiz Brahimaj was slowing down in this fight. Neil Magny's volume and length became a lot more effective. Eventually, Neil Magny put together a great sequence together and forced the stoppage, and that's his 25th UFC victory, tying with Charles Oliveira for the second most wins at the time of this result. So, that's great work. I know Ramiz was the favorite, but I just don't think Ramiz Brahimaj is that good. And I expected Neil Magny to struggle a little bit, but you just can't count out the vets, bro. You just can't. And then Rafael Tobias, Lucas Fernando. This was kind of a stinker-ish in the beginning. Both guys were kind of very hesitant. Both kind of just waiting for the other to throw, but it was a good debut. He did end up getting the stoppage, the TKO from the body shot, and it was actually very beautiful to watch. Round 3, I think it was. I don't know. It was a kick to the stomach. Kicked him to the stomach, and it took Rafael Tobias a second to even process it, and then he went down. He controlled the range, stayed composed, and he didn't allow Tobias to turn the fight into a chaotic brawl. Very nasty finish. It was a no. It wasn't. It wasn't a kick. It was a knee to the body. Yeah, and Tobias folded immediately. So, um, Lucas Fernando could be a problem, but this guy's going up against Rafael Tobias, who is not a high level fighter whatsoever. So, I don't know, man. I think he's a bit on the older side as well. I don't think he's the youngest guy. So, we'll have to see how he does. But I was just not super impressed by your performance. I wasn't. So, but it was a cool win. Nice little win for him. Vicente Luque loses to Tresean Gore. Very upsetting, but it was a good win for Tresean Gore. Luque's a vet, but Gore's grappling and the physicality gave him problems. Vicente Luque couldn't really get a whole lot going. He did look for that Darce choke at one point in the fight, could not get it done, unfortunately, but he mixed in the strikings with takedowns, but he was just more, it seemed like Vicente Luque was a lot more worried about the level changes from Gore. And I think that helped Gore win the fight. And that knee that Vicente Luque threw, dude, busted out his teeth, like his bottom two teeth or something, dude. But I was just like, the last 10 seconds, Luque, come on, man. What are you doing, bro? You can't just go out there like swinging crazy at the end. Like, you clearly weren't going to win that. You fucked up when you started slowing down in the second round, man. He looks, I will say, Tresean Gore looks a little more, I'd say, composed, more established, mature than when he came in a couple years ago. But it's Vicente Luque. I love the guy, but Vicente Luque just looked really tired. He looked like he gassed out really quick in the fight. So I still don't have Tresean Gore as a super high-level fighter. And then Dante Johnson. Like I said, bro. Dante Johnson. I said he was going to get it done inside of 3 minutes or Eric McConaughey was going to win, and I knew that was going to happen. I stuck with Dante Johnson, and it was amazing, bro. Just landed a fat left hand, just dropped McConaughey immediately, and McConaughey was like, bro, like the little Tweety birds you see above the head in like the cartoons and shit. Beautiful. It was amazing. I love Dante Johnson. That was beautiful. He didn't really need a game plan, bro. He just used the speed and power, but that's kind of the problem with him, though. Like, that's good to have against a guy like McConaughey. McConaughey's still a pretty good fighter. Like, I'd say McConaughey's a high-level fighter, but you can't be doing that against higher levels of competition because that's just not going to work, dude. This guy fought at heavyweight at one point, dude. People forget, man. And he's talking about going to welterweight. Like, get the hell out of here, bro. Just stay at a weight division. We don't need freaking MVP 2.0 going from welterweight to middleweight to whatever. Then he accidentally hit the referee during the crazy sequence. Still undefeated. We need an opponent that can, I want to see more of his game, bro. Like, because he has crazy power. He does. But I want to see more of his game in fights. But it was a beautiful win for him. I loved it. Charles Johnson getting it done against Eduardo Chapelin. I don't remember who I picked. I want to say I picked Charles Johnson, but I don't remember. Call him Eduardo Chapelin, Henrique. I called him Henrique. He had Dos Santos on the shorts. Whatever, bro. This guy looks like he's 20 years old. Charles Johnson's freaking insane, man. I don't care what you think about the guy. The guy's insane. Almost getting knocked out in the, I don't even remember what round, but it looked like he was done, dude. He got knocked down. He was seeing stars. He got up. He was wobbly. But Charles Johnson made history tonight, dude. Scottish Twister. When he did that, I was like, where have I seen that before? I was trying to figure out if I had ever seen that before. I have not. I was thinking of I don't even know. I seen something similar to it, but they called it a Scottish twister. Very interesting. Never done before in the UFC, I think. It was either first time or second time ever done in the UFC. He was supposed to fight Jose Ochoa, but Henrique took it on short notice. I'm pretty sure I picked Charles Johnson. I'm pretty sure. But Henrique, dude, this guy pissed me off, man. Like, dude, you poke him in the eye. Referee doesn't see it. And then it wasn't a hard knee, but it was an illegal knee. Doesn't matter. It was still a knee to a grounded opponent. The experience that Charles Johnson has, it just took over, bro. He got to dominant grappling position. Henrique was looking good, dude. He was. But the grappling transition just beautifully got into the, I just said it, Scottish Twister. Second, I want to say it's the second one in UFC history. I think I've seen that it's the second one done in UFC history, dude. Charles Johnson, dude, you can never doubt this guy. I don't care how old he gets. I don't care if the hair or whatever he does with the hair, man. You never doubt this guy. Never. Joel Alvarez severely disappointed me. I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot that Joel Alvarez was taking this on short notice, replacing Jeff Neal. That completely just slipped out of my mind. But I thought Joel Alvarez is a lot younger than Chidi Njoku. He just is. But so, like, it matters that he didn't have a lot of preparation, but it just a striking battle the whole time. I was thinking, like, against a guy like Chidi, you're going to want to take him down and submit him. And he can be. He's got a ground game. It might not be the best ground game, but, like, he can get it on the ground. I don't know what the hell the judges were thinking, giving it a 30-27. I had it 29-28 for all of them. A lot of the judges' scorecards tonight I was really upset with, but I guess I just have to think like a judge because these judges they're very stupid, if you ask me, and a lot of other people I know are going to agree with me. But Joel Alvarez had some moments, and I'm okay with this loss for Joel Alvarez because he's coming in on short notice. He lost to Yaroslav Amosov by submission. That's a good win. Yaroslav Amosov is ranked now, and a lot of people are hyping him up to be the next big thing. We'll see how that plays out, but I think Joel Alvarez is, like, he has potential for sure. He showed some good moments, but I guess Chidi did a better job controlling later in the fight. Like, I had Joel Alvarez in the first round. The only one that was questionable for me was the second round. Chidi's length, and I think the experience helped him a little bit. So I'm okay. You can't really shit on Joel Alvarez for this fight, dude. He's taking it on short notice, and he didn't get finished by a guy like Chidi. But I was expecting a lot more ground game from Joel Alvarez. And then, man, this was terrible, but it wasn't as bad as last weekend's when we had to watch Darren Elkins get absolutely slimed out. Very, very upsetting. But Esteban Ribovic gets it done. Very emotional. He was crying before he walked. I was thinking, before he even walked out, I didn't even think, like, Edson Barbosa was going to retire. I didn't know anything about it. But, like, before he even walked out, I was like, is he going to retire, dude? I feel like I just felt like it was needed. And I'm glad he did, but I have to, like, UFC. So you're a $7 billion company, and you give Anthony fucking Smith a whole presentation when he retires, but Edson Barbosa gets fucking jack, right? $7 billion fucking company you care about. Dude, Edson Barbosa is a bigger star than Anthony fucking Smith, bro. You go ask like 10 people that don't watch UFC, hey, you remember watching Anthony Smith? Who the fuck is that? You ever watch Edson Barbosa? Dude, at least 3 of them are, oh yeah, dude, Barbosa's fucking awesome, bro. But no, the UFC couldn't give him nothing, man. Just, I severely hate this company sometimes, man. You give it to everybody else except Edson Barboza, and there's been other ones too, but just for this, Edson Barboza doesn't get one for some fucking reason. But, dude, he's one of the most dangerous kickers ever. The spinning wheel kicks, the calf kicks are legendary, and dude, the physique for 40, it looks freaking amazing. It does. He looks amazing. But Ribovic, like I said, he's younger, faster, and more aggressive. He pressured Barbosa, closed the distance, just forced Barbosa to get in those exchanges. And by the end of round one, dude, we all seen the shin. It was rough. He was bleeding from the face. It's like, I was thinking the ref might have ended it. I didn't know how bad that cut was in the shin. I'm glad they didn't, but I'm also glad that the referee stopped it before we could watch Edson Barbosa get knocked out, because I did not want to see that shit. But round two wasn't a whole lot different than the first. Ribovic backed him up a little bit. Herb Dean stopped it, and I'm okay with it, dude. Herb Dean's still getting booed like crazy, which he deserves. We're going to hold on to that forever, but I'm glad he stopped it then. It's just, it's an age thing here, dude. Barbosa had a fantastic run. He is one of the best that you will ever watch. It's just amazing, man. Mansour Abdul Malik, another one. This was the night of the underdogs, brother. Minus 700. Like, this guy, I knew he didn't have freaking wrestling, but I didn't think Dustin freaking Stoltzfus was going to be the one to freaking choke him out, man. Like, dude, Malik, this guy, okay, you know how Joe Rogan's like, how does this guy make middleweight, dude? This is one exception. I'll give you Joe Rogan, because this guy's back, like, freaking insane. You want to talk about a big back? This motherfucker is huge, bro. But the biggest upset of the night was Dustin Stoltzfus. Some of the hits that Stoltzfus was taking were insane, bro. Because Mansour would throw like a bunch of hooks in a row, and Dustin Stoltzfus still standing there. It's insane. He came in younger, more dangerous, but Stoltzfus, it's the vets, man. Like, they're smart, and it's hard to pick against some vets, man. Like, I was thinking last week, oh, the vets, like, in Gamrot can get it done, dude. He's the vet. Fuck no. But then this week, when I go with the younger guy, like, it's just my luck, dude. This is why you can't bet on the freaking sport. The minus 700 favorite could not get it done. But it's the grappling, dude. You cannot, and I have a video coming out on Monday about the best bases for MMA. And wrestling is one. Grappling, you need to have that in your bag. Stoltzfus turned Mansour's aggression against him, got him down, maintained control, and worked his way to the back. And by the second round, Dustin just kept applying pressure until the defense was broken down and the rear naked choke was there. So there is a lot of work that Mansour Abdul Malik needs to do, because he's not going to be a high-level competitor until he gets a good wrestling base down. As for Jalen Turner, I was shocked, dude. I think it was, at this time, it was a pick'em. No, it was -1. They had Jalen Turner as a favorite, but at one point earlier, they had Cal Fernandez as the favorite. Like, it was a -115 to 105. So, I was in shock, dude. Cal Fernandez got some good leg kicks off on freaking Harry Hardwick, bro. Harry Hardwick is a featherweight, and he came in on short notice, bro. By the way, this guy hasn't fought in a year, and if you go watch that Harry Hardwick fight, he took 0 damage. He just kicked the legs, and he's got some good leg kicks, man. People forget, dude. Calf kick changed the game, but he does have some good leg kicks. But Jalen Turner, dude, we forget. Both these guys, like, finished their last fight early, and they're taking a year off. I'm so sick of fighters doing this shit. Like, we want to see you fight. We don't want to see you wait out for a freaking year, man. Get these guys back in the, maybe not Calway Fernandez, but like a Jalen Turner. Get him back in there soon. Ribovic, get him back in there soon. Who's another one? Let's get Dante. It's been a while since I've seen Dante Johnson. Let's get him back in there soon. You got freaking what is it? Where'd he go? Freaking Charles Johnson, dude. This guy's fighting like the most amount of fights a year. I think I've seen a stat. It's like, I don't remember what it is, but it's multiple fights a year. Why can we not be more like Charles Johnson? Get the hell in the ring. Let's continue to fight. You want a freaking paycheck, man? Get in the damn ring. Let's fight. Anyway, Jalen Turner, absolute statement performance. Beautiful. He just did not give Cal Fernandez enough time to even establish that kicking game because it's most dangerous about him. Obviously, Cowboy Fernandez has dangerous kicks, but we know who Jalen Turner is, bro. This guy's a tarantula. He just showed the difference in power and timing, and the height advantage, bro. I seen 5'9" Cowboy Fernandez versus 6'3" freaking Jalen Turner, bro. He found the opening, landed the left hand and dropped him, and then just boom, 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 boom. Freaking bounced his head off the canvas, Conor McGregor style. I'm gonna bounce his head off the canvas, yeah. Jalen Turner's dangerous, and this is the kind of guy you want to have, like, opening your main card or something like that, dude. You want to have someone like Jalen Turner that can put on a performance for you. We thought that, like, Jalen Turner's had some stinkers, but he looked like the version of himself that people thought could become a serious contender a couple years ago, because we thought that Jalen Turner was going to be the shit. Like, let's be for real. We thought he was going to be top-level fighter, but it was not meant to be. Hopefully he can keep this up, but we'll see, man. And then Mackenzie Dern. I don't know what the judges were thinking on this. I had this 49-45. Jillian Robertson had a good round 5, but other than that, dude, Mackenzie Dern almost choked her out in the first round. Jillian Robinson was freaking damn near redder than her freaking hair, dude. I thought she was done for sure, but pretty typical women's fight. Pretty big grappling battle. Jillian Robertson, love you, kid. Love you, but she did not look like she belonged there at all. Mackenzie Dern really showed off this fight. Like, she looked really good against Verna Jandaroba, but she showed that she is more than just that jiu-jitsu girl. All Jillian Robertson really had and still has is jiu-jitsu, and I am shocked that she even got that far in round 5. Some people were even saying 3, but it's like, dude, she got a couple good, like, pitter-patter uppercuts here and there, but that's about it, dude. But Mackenzie Dern mixing in her striking, leg kicks, takedowns very well. It's so easy to take down Jillian Robertson. I was very disappointed with the performance of Jillian Robertson. That's the only thing she has. She's one of the best submission artists in the women's division, but then you see what Mackenzie Dern beat her at, like what she does best, and she styled on her completely. Mackenzie Dern was just able to dictate the position. She was looking for it in the first, and then after that, I think Robinson's like, okay, I need to really be defensive here. So Mackenzie Dern is very, very well-rounded, and if you want to be considered the GOAT of strawweight, because that was, like, she's defended the title now. She is the champion. Can't call her, whatever you want, but you gotta beat the GOAT, Zhang Weili. You just have to. I don't know where Weili is. I don't know if she's ever freaking coming back, dude. She does some freaking hairstyle or whatever the hell, and we're just never gonna see her again. I don't know if she's doing some K-pop shit. K-pop, whatever the hell it's called, but that'd be a banger. That would be a banger, because Mackenzie Dern is no slouch. She looks great everywhere. Jillian Robertson just did not look like she should be there. Now, for this, Islam Makhachev defeats Ian Gary and becomes the GOAT. No, not in my eyes, because as this week has shaped up, I was thinking, you know what, dude? I am so confident in Islam because, you're watching interviews, stuff like that. I had Islam. I was like, dude, I think Islam's going to submit him in the 3rd round with a Darce choke. But then as the fight, dude, like, this whole card, very interesting from the start. Miktabek Oralbai, losing immediately to Jeremiah freaking Wells, man. This was supposed to be the layup for Orobai, and that happened. Neil Magny getting it done as an underdog. Where's another one? Charles Johnson almost getting slept out and then coming back and winning. Like, it was a crazy night, dude. And Ian Gary, I gotta put some respect on his name, dude. Obviously, I don't have to like the guy's personality. I don't think I ever will. I am so sorry for my GOAT, Charles Oliveira, that has to deal with this guy. I can't imagine how he is in camp. This guy has been kicked out of so many camps. I don't know how people tolerate him, but it's besides the point. Islam Makhachev almost lost, and I don't think he's going to be. I'll get into that in a second, but let me just. So, Islam Makhachev, and people are trying to milk this so hard by talking about, dude, this is like frickin' McGregor and Khabib. No, it's not. You seen the head kick in the second round that Makhachev gave to Gary? There's people like, it was the same thing that Nurmagomedov did to McGregor in the second. Kicked him in the head and then chased after him. They're trying to milk this shit so hard. It's like, dude, shut the hell up. Why can we not just let a fight be a fight? We gotta compare everything to everything, you know? But first 2 rounds, Islam, very dominant. 3 and 4, very interesting. Islam had about 16 seconds, I think it was, of control time in the third. Ian Gary was doing very well. I thought the best round for Ian Gary would have been the first round, but kind of got dog walked in that round. 2 and 3 were Ian Gary's best rounds. They were. And then we go into the fifth, and I had it 2-2 going into the fifth. I was worried for Makhachev. I was like, holy crap. With the way, you know, Ilya Topuria losing, Hamzat Chimaev losing, Pantoja losing to Van, you know, it's like, are we going to continue on this trend? And I was worried. And a lot of other people were worried too, but the first couple minutes, it was looking like, holy shit, dude, Ian Gary might be, and the world would have exploded if this happened. Like, genuinely, the world would have exploded, but it didn't happen. Islam gets control of Gary for about 3 minutes. Ian Gary could have got out of this because Islam did not have the body triangle locked in for like a minute. So Ian Gary could have got out of that, and then he finally hooked it, and then it was just wraps from there. Islam punching him a little bit, you know, the little pitter-patter strikes like we're talking about, and sits there and just kind of gets the dub. I don't want to keep this thing up of people saying that, oh, the Dagestanis are just huggers, but literally Makhachev had to hug Ian Gary to win. If he did not hug Ian Gary, he would have lost that fight. Ian Gary was going to beat Islam Makhachev. If he could not secure another takedown, this was Ian Gary's fight to take. That long, lengthy fighter, and we seen it in the fight. Everybody all week, oh, dude, Islam Makhachev's a lot taller than we thought. No, he was not. No, Ian Gary's genuinely 6'3". I think Makhachev might be 5'11", maybe 6 foot. You could tell that length of Ian Gary definitely gave Islam problems. It did, big time. And you cannot be like, because next in line is Carlos Prates. It just is. You can say Michael Morales, but you're just fucking delusional if you think that. It's Carlos Prates. And if Carlos Prates can train very hard in his takedown defense, he will beat Islam Makhachev. And I think I think Michael Morales is a very good prospect, but he needs one more before he fights Makhachev. And now that person is Ian Machado Gary because he just lost. So, I do not think maybe he's gonna lose to Prates, or he's gonna lose to Miles. I almost said Morales, dude. Michael Morales, frick, dude. But Islam Makhachev is not going to hold this belt for much longer. I really don't think he is. I thought he was going to look better in this fight than he did against JDM. He was talking about submitting Ian Gary. He could not do that. These welterweights, and Ian Gary's a small welterweight in my opinion, dude. And he struggled a lot with Ian Gary. I don't want to take anything away from Islam Makhachev. It was he did win. Props to him. He beat Anderson Silva's record. That's amazing. But he needs 2 more finishes on his record. I don't care how they come, but if he can get 2 more finishes, he'll be the GOAT. That's fine. I'll put him at number 1 in my GOAT list. I don't care. But against a guy like Carlos Prates, you cannot be doing shit like that. Like, you need to add more to your game, because Ian Gary would have won that fight. I'm glad he didn't, but he definitely would have won that fight. But this was a very scary fight, and honestly, I'm going to eat my words because I said this was a terrible card. It was actually a decent card for being a numbered event. It was pretty good. We had 2, 3, 4 decisions. So you can't be mad at that. Out of 12 fights, only 4 decisions. It's not terrible. So yeah, it was a solid night of fights. Like and subscribe. Please subscribe so I can start doing live fight companions. I love this sport, and I just want to do its best for it. Thanks for watching.